10 o'clocks only for Disney. Remember, there are no toilets inside.
Okay, look. I didn't have a queue when I entered. Fortunately, this was just past 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday. There will be a quick bag search as well upon entry of the XL venue. This is not the main, it's just on the side of the XL Center. You enter the venue to pick up your badge and a poster. Actually, this is Monday, October 16th, the actual birthday of Disney. So it's actually 100 years old now. So they gave me a partial refund on my ticket ahead of time, plus an upgrade to the ticket to VIP ticket, plus the cool pin badge that they gave, and you just kind of saw a glimpse of it there. And you also get a poster for their latest movie, Disney's Wish, which looks pretty decent. Go check out a trailer if you haven't seen it already. You then got another waiting area for a green screen photo and a photo opportunity just ahead with the balloons and the 100 kind of lit up writing thing, right? The photo opportunity. You can take a photo of it here, but you could actually skip this and skip the green screen photo and just waltz in if you want to. Before you go though, if you've got children with you or if you just kind of want to do things yourself, pick up this little card and a pencil if there's some left, because they are just kind of symbols that you need to find as you go through the exhibition. It was a little bit confusing. I didn't really know where to find those symbols, but it becomes apparent as you go through it, hopefully. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Walk through this blue lit corridor. It's nice blue. And then you got another cube. This is just going to be a quick waiting area. So it's a bit like the Harry Potter studio tours, although that's actually overall better, but that's a different topic. Once you've got the timing, they let you go through, you're going to be entered into this really nice starry looking atmosphere room. I quite liked it. Pretty simple, but it was effective. And you've got screens on at the front of you with the curtains on the left and then on the right side as well. And so it's worth paying attention to everything that kind of happened in this room, because the main kind of video will play actually on the front screen. The curtains end up drawing. There's actually a lot of space. When I went in, nobody moved forward, so I didn't want to move forward either. But it just kind of goes through a little bit of the history of Walt Disney himself. Quite briefly, stuff that you will also see as you get into the main exhibition area itself. And then on the left and the right screens, you'll also see some bits of the video kind of whizzing through and some extra kind of starry animations and stuff. So it kind of makes it a little bit more immersive, I guess you could say. Again, simply done, but I quite liked it. It's nothing too long, but I'm not going to play the entire video here because that would spoil everything. But this is pretty much what you see in a lot of kind of the upper tier exhibition style things. Again, referencing, say, the Harry Potter Studio World Tour. The Harry Potter Studio Tour, basically. But yeah, like I said, you'll have little bits happening on the left and the right screen. So pay attention to those when you're in the little room as well.
Presented in themed galleries based on Walt Disney's creative concepts and philosophies. These include storytelling, creating believable characters.
Then you're allowed to actually go into the main exhibition area itself. This pretty much starts as you would expect. So it goes from the very beginning of Walt Disney as a little child, him and his brother and his family in general, how he grew up, where he grew up. So there's a bit to kind of read. It is English only. I don't know if they do an audio guide for, say, European languages. That would be really neat if they did. But I think they are going to be doing the same exhibition in other territories outside of, say, UK and America as well. So just kind of keep an eye on things like that. As you go through the exhibition, there's going to be several kind of props that you can see. I say several, but there's more than that. Different kind of props or kind of remade props, not the actual originals, including the artworks that you see in and around the exhibition. Not all of them, or the majority of them, aren't going to be the actual originals. That would be really cool, but I understand why they didn't do that. Regardless, they presented very nicely anyway. The actual format of this exhibition, it was quite orderly. I was very surprised at how orderly everything was. And people, there's this like generalization that British people are really good at queuing. I find that not true at all. I am British and I'm in East London, so maybe it's just not true in East London. But here it was pretty orderly. And you don't have to be. I ended up being probably that guy that just kind of waltzed around everywhere, because things kind of got, how do I say, I didn't know how big this exhibition was, so I decided to kind of skip ahead towards near the end and then come back again. So it wasn't a big issue to do that. You can do that, but I think upon first entry, people might just get like stuck in the routine of just queuing for everything. Some bits, yeah, stick to the queue. It's a bit more polite to do so, but not everything actually requires that. You can actually kind of break through the queue and walk around as you please. Just, of course, be mindful of your surroundings. Have some self-awareness that other people are going to be taking photos and reading the exhibits as well. There's going to be several exhibits, like I said, or more than several. I keep saying several, but there are many exhibits here in the actual venue itself. It is quite large, and like I said, it starts from the beginning of Walt Disney, then it goes into the kind of how the animation started, his kind of first works, and then kind of what more people are going to be familiar with is the Disney classic stuff. So Sleeping Beauty, Pinocchio, Snow White, and so on and so forth. Of course, you will get to the more modern stuff as you get through the venue and the exhibition itself. This is just kind of a nice layout for it being a bit more chronological, I think. And there's some nice props there. The kind of decor and the layout of it was quite good. The kind of pathway was quite good. There are some nice interactive elements here and there as well that kind of make it a little bit interesting for children, especially. In general, I find that for younger children, it might not be the best exhibition. There's a lot more for older fans that have grown up with Disney, but some cool ones. I actually really liked the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale book that kind of turns the page as you turn the page on screen as well. Really simple. It's nothing that special, but you know, in the moment, it's kind of sweet. It's kind of wholesome, and I think it's going to be, that one would actually be really good for kids for sure. I didn't have any kids with me. I was on my own, by the way, but it was a nice little book. You can read the book on the page, or you can read it on the screen. I was just demonstrating how it kind of works here. As you can imagine, there's going to be a ton of artworks from various films across Disney's catalog of classic animation stuff, the 90s animation stuff, all the way to the more recent stuff as well. So I've taken a bit of footage here and there of things that really caught my eye, even like mostly things that I actually liked, but even things that I wasn't hugely attached to, like Sleeping Beauty, but I really liked the artwork on it, so I took a few kind of B-roll stuff of that. Outside of the artwork stuff from the animated stuff, there's also some props from live action movies as well, whether that's modern live action stuff or even actual kind of models and sculptures as references that Disney and his team, or when he kind of passed away and whatnot, but the other kind of animated team would have used as reference material for their stuff. So it's really kind of insightful and interesting to see how some of these movies, or some of your favorite movies, have come about, and what kind of reference materials that they were using for it, and that they actually made certain sculptures and models even though the actual movie that you've seen was never 3D, for example. So that's kind of an interesting kind of behind the scenes, I guess. And naturally, around the exhibition, there's going to be several points where you can take photos, different photo opportunities with different characters and different kind of moments as well. They're nicely spread out so it doesn't cause any bottlenecks, but keep an eye out for them as well. By the way, when you do enter, the central point is this kind of crystal thing. This is basically the main motif, I guess, of Disney 100 that you've seen on a lot of their branding outside. And the crystal, each kind of side of the crystal has references to different Disney movies. So there's some of like Bambi and Jungle Book, and then it goes into Tangled, which is my favorite because of the lanterns. It was kind of subtle, but if you knew it was Tangled, it was Tangled. It's not super in your face, but it was really nice to see as well. As you go further into the exhibition as well, you will of course come across a nice statue of Mickey Mouse. He's dressed very dapper, so be sure to take a selfie with him and of him. It's a very cool little statue. There's costume props as well from the live action stuff, including Star Wars here and there. You'll see some stuff related to non-animated movies as well. Not just the modern live action stuff, but stuff that they've done historically. And actually, if you keep an eye out, there's also some stuff based on their kind of sitcom sort of stuff, like Home Improvement, which I thought was kind of funny. I just didn't expect it. Like it wasn't on my mind, I guess. But it's nice to see that they really kind of go into the little corners of Disney as well, that even probably like huge enthusiast Disney fans or hardcore Disney fans will enjoy in some way as well. But some bits are easy to miss because there is a ton to look at, to the point where it might become a little bit overwhelming and hard to differentiate for some people. So I would recommend actually in the beginning, just focus on what you liked. So if you liked a particular era of Disney, a particular films from Disney, try and find those first. You don't have to go around in an orderly chronological way. You can just kind of come back as well. At least I did anyway. There's some cool stuff here. So there's like the storyboards section, which I really liked as well. That was really good. The stuff that's on screen, you'll see screens around the exhibition that kind of show you like behind the scenes stuff as well, which if you've been watching or collecting the DVDs from the past, then it might not be new stuff to you. Actually, this is stuff that's on some of those behind the scene content, and the DVDs is extra content. But there's also this kind of really cool bit where it was a layered cell panels, which I liked as well. And I think on camera, it's nice to look at and then put your camera on it and then to see how it kind of looks. And it's like the moon setting or moving. It's really cool. One other bit that I really liked from the exhibition personally is I'm a figure channel, so the models and sculptures was something that I really enjoyed. And yeah, some of the stuff that really stood out to me, and that was the Jafar, Pocahontas, Elsa and Anna and Mulan, and I think there was a Woody as well. So a few of the figures in that kind of window display really spoke to me. I really liked that. That's pretty much the main kind of figures of that type in this section, but it was still cool to see. There is a ton here, you can't fit everything in, but it's nice to see some of the reference sculptures that they make in an unpainted form for their own use. These are things that we seldom get to see. You might see them in behind the scenes books and things like that, but not necessarily going to be released for the public. So there's some nice figures here, definitely to check out. You can't buy anything, obviously. There's just to look at. As well as props and artwork, you will also see not just storyboard artwork that we covered before, but you'll also see some concept artwork and character artwork. There's a nice section in the exhibit where it kind of talks about characters need the actual character to become believable. They need a personality, and I think this is the section for Little Mermaid where Ariel is kind of used as the demonstration with, say, the emotions on the face in one of those kind of images. So that was cool to see as well. I kind of hopped around afterwards inside the exhibit, so I kind of went back to quickly check what Star Wars bits they have. I'm not huge into Star Wars, but I know I know it's big, obviously. So there's a small segment for that, small segment for the MCU stuff as well. There's a nice area where the Mickey Mouse statue is, which is actually focused more about the music, by the way. So that one you can see original sort of artwork and I guess the cover vinyl for Snow White. And then there's an on-screen display of, I think it's Hans Zimmer live playing some Lion King soundtrack. And there's another bit where you can also listen to some music as well. Actually, throughout the exhibit, you've got other interactive bits. Well, not interactive, but you can actually listen to the video kind of scenes that are happening in and around. So there's like little earphone pieces that you just magnetic pieces, which is really cool. They look very neat, by the way. Just pull them out and then have a listen to the video as well. So that's cool. It's kid level hype, by the way, so definitely encourage, if you've got kids with you, to try and have a listen to that to keep them occupied as well, because I think this is super overwhelming for some kids, because it's just not as fun, I guess, for kids who might be 5 years and under. So this is just something for them, and of course older fans, to kind of have a listen to. But yeah, in the music area, you can definitely kind of sit down. The whole vibe of that music area, by the way, looks like a sound studio, which was quite cool. So a little bit different from the earlier crystal bit when you kind of first enter the exhibit. There's a nice area where you can also listen to a few different clips of different pieces of music, not whole soundtracks. I was actually rude. I didn't realize actually the two headphones share one screen, and I didn't realize that. So sorry to the lady that I just pushed in. I didn't realize I changed what she was listening to. That was completely my fault. So I'm so sorry for that. But don't do what I did. But you can listen to English and various other European music as well. I actually hope they would have done Asian stuff as well, because some of the Asian languages of Disney's soundtrack, for example, Lion King, in my opinion, Hindi, Japanese, things that are really good. They're really good. So it's just European, which is slightly disappointing, but still cool nonetheless. As I mentioned, there's a couple of other interactive bits as you kind of go through the exhibition itself. There's lots of actual visual stuff to look at on terms of video. So the storyboard stuff was really good, showing you comparison of, say, the storyboard of Dumbo and how it actually animated in the final product. So that's really cool to see. If you've really interested in animation stuff, you're probably really familiar with this already, but for anyone who's kind of casual, this is still really cool to see as well. So yeah, interesting stuff for some of your favorite films. The exhibit also goes into a couple of animatronic sort of areas as well. It's not huge actually by any means. There's a couple of exhibits that kind of show you the animatronics to kind of design and just a static non kind of interactive bit, but there's one or two bits that you can interact with, like this hand bit that you can interact with, like the thumb and the pinky finger. So that's something I'm just showing you here. Really simple, but it's interesting how that works. It might come alive one day and just bust out through the glass window and just choke me, I don't know, but it was pretty cool. But there's a couple of these here to kind of look at, not something I spent too much time on, to be honest. Of course, one of the big things of Disney are their parks as well, so there is a big section actually dedicated to just the Disney theme parks. The actual map, or like a replica of the original concept that was made, that was very cool. So if you're really into the Disney theme parks and the kind of settings around those, there's a nice section here that actually goes into a little bit of, it almost has a sample teacup ride that you can use as a photo opportunity. It has another kind of one or two rides, I can't remember the rides off the top of my head or the names, but you can take photos of those, and it just gives you an idea of what and how the parks came around as well. So that's something that I if you're a Disney hardcore fan, that's obvious to you, but it's easy to forget actually that that's a big part of Disney as an enterprise, right? So for me, I just kind of forgot. Like, I know it, I enjoy going to the parks, but I was just walking in here just more invested in the kind of consumer like movie stuff, right? TV movie stuff. But then when the park section came up, I was like, whoa, that's a lot about the park. So if you're really into the Disney parks, it's a nice layout because it suddenly shifts into a very theme park sort of thing. Not exact, but just kind of touches here and there to remind you of what the Disney parks are like. And if you've never been there, then it kind of gives you a really like small hint of what a Disney park is as well. There's an interactive table as well that you can play around with to also understand a little bit about Disney parks. I decided to pick the Hong Kong one because I had good memories with my friends in the Disney Hong Kong park, so that was good fun. And there are some scale models in the Disney park area as well that you can take photos and videos of. There's also a scale model of the castle, and just for the castle, actually pay attention to that one, or wait, because fireworks actually go off with that castle. So it's easy to just kind of get it at the wrong timing and then you miss the fireworks, but stay there for maybe like 30 seconds and see if the fireworks go off. You'll see people just waiting to take a video and pictures of the fireworks. As I mentioned, there are several different interactive elements for everyone to enjoy. This one's a bit more for kids. Some of it wasn't really responding. Maybe I was doing something wrong, but I think mostly this one is kind of messing around with the backgrounds and changing it from space to like a city area and so on and so forth. And then you touch different objects in the background and they either light up or the lights go out. Just something to kind of goof around with your kids. And well, I'm not a kid, but I was goofing around with it trying to see what would happen. So I'm doing a lot of excessive touching here, but only a few things were actually changing. It was still cute though. I mean, there was a kid on the right side of me who kept shifting this screen. It wasn't actually me doing that because you have to do it from his height. But it's nice, right? The kid was just enjoying it. I don't know who he was, but he was enjoying it in his own way. He was totally distracting me, getting in the way of my fun. But no, it was nice. It's nice for kids. It's a wholesome activity. Really simple, and it looks good actually. The screens were sharp. The graphics and stuff were really good. I actually really liked this Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse in the rain. I thought that was super cute and just a nice kind of visual of the pair. Just, yeah, it looks cute. It looks cute. Simple again, but it's wholesome, cute, and I'm really all about wholesome stuff. So this was nice in the end. It was nice. Oh, by the way, you will see some posters in and around that you can actually buy at the end. There is a gift shop, which I'll cover at the end of this video as well. We're just going through mostly in order. Once you've covered the theme park bit, you're gonna now come towards the end segment actually, which is one of the most, I guess, wow, I wouldn't say super wow, but still visually more impressive areas. So going back to the kind of crystal mirror-like motif that they had, this is basically like a crystal room with many displays, or a few displays that are kind of reflecting on like a back mirror wall, I think it was. So you got the stars kind of being projected everywhere, and then you've got just high res screens showing clips of various Disney movies. It's really nice to see, honestly. It's a nice place to probably just spend like a couple of minutes and take some photos of you, your family and friends. It is nice. I kind of just was like, oh, okay, it's nice, and went through it. Honestly, for me personally, if the exhibit was more like this, then I'd probably really enjoy it more. But they kind of saved this last for last. I understand why they did it, because mostly it's about understanding the history of Disney. I totally understand. But still, this last room was pretty nice. I found it pretty nice. But more of it would have been definitely something I would have enjoyed a lot more, to be honest with you. That pretty much covers the exhibit. There is actually a lot to see there, and depending on how like engrossed you are with Disney, you might stay there for 2 hours, maybe only 1 hour. It really depends. By the end of it, there's a little bench section that you can do some activities for kids. You can pick up your photos as well, and of course there is the gift shop. I completely forgot. If I've got a VIP ticket, you can also pick up a drink, I think after the gift shop, can't remember, but I forgot to do that. I took some photos in the beginning. I didn't want to pay for it. I mean, £13.50 is not the end of the world, but I thought, yeah, nah, I didn't buy it in the end. So here you can just see my solo pictures on screen. Here's the gift shop now. So the gift shop is, I think, not that great. It wasn't anything special to me personally. I think the Disney 100 branding stuff is not great. £60 for the hoodie was very expensive. I'm going on holiday soon, so I was really trying to like penny pinch, I guess. There is some Disney 100 merchandise here. Most of this stuff you can get elsewhere. The exhibit stuff might be probably exclusive to the exhibit. There's a book you can get, various apparel including t-shirts, hoodies, plushie as well, so Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse, various posters that you can pick up. You can get non-Disney 100 stuff there as well. And then there were also they had these old original plushies on display, but I don't think you could buy them. If they were purchasable, not for an obscene amount, I would have been curious, because you know it's Mickey the Mouse, the original kind of plush design, which I think would have been interesting. I kind of like interesting plush, so I would have been interested to pick that one up if they did that as a mass-produced item, but they didn't have that there. Generally stuff that is what you'd expect for an exhibit. I didn't end up buying anything, to be quite honest with you. I wanted to, but I didn't. I was going to buy the ceramic mug, but it didn't have enough of character silhouettes of characters that I really liked, so I decided not to get it in the end. It's a nice mug though, I like the ceramic texture of it, but I decided to put it back. It was £12, by the way, for the mug, I believe. What I did seriously contemplate, was picking up the £300 Disney 100 Steiff plushie, because I just like unique plushie, but I didn't in the end. I did contemplate it for a good while, checking if I can get it cheaper online, which I can for about £279 in the end. But still, I've decided not to pick it up. Not yet anyway, because there's other expensive plush and other toys that I want, right? Of course, I'm a toy channel and action figure channel, so there's going to be more interesting stuff or more expensive stuff that I want to buy. But that was very tempting, I'm not going to lie. And that's the end of the Disney 100 exhibition in London ExCeL Centre. Keep an eye on the official website in case of it moving to a location near you, as well as getting tickets for the London one and I think the actual dates of the running of this exhibition. My only real comment is that if you are planning to take really young kids, like toddlers, 5 and under, they might not have the attention span for something like this, and they're probably going to get a little bit cranky and tired. It is dark inside for the most part. It's very kind of like, it's basically like a Disney history museum. There's interactive bits, but still, even that is more for the slightly older fan. But I think this is definitely more for the enthusiast Disney fan. Others can still definitely find enjoyment for it. But yeah, just keep it in mind for really young kids if you've got them or plan to go with them. Otherwise, though, it's a very good exhibition. I'm sure there's bits that people would have wanted to see that wasn't there, but I enjoyed it. It was a nice couple of hours to just spend on my day off from work. Let me know what you think down below, or if you're planning to go, and I'll catch you in the next video.